What's up guys, it's me, it's Goku, I'm back and I want to do this little video on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Soul Striker, Goku, updated for some set 11 stuff. So this is the leader. I don't know if you're familiarized with him, but he's a really kind of big guy. I mean, if you look at how big his muscles are, you can see that they're just brimming with powers. And on this side, he has a really big fist. I mean, look at the size of this guy. He looks like he's just gonna come up and maybe like grab you or something like that. But yeah, he untaps 2, draw 1 when he's awakened. Pretty good. You can awaken with unison, cost 3. So I play one of these guys. He's not really that big a guy. I mean, for a little guy, he's a big guy, but he's got really big hair, and he can grab your unison back from the drop if you pitch it for something. So I play one. He might get in there, give another swinger on board. But yeah, he's not really that big a guy. He's probably like one of the more little guys. Of course, the D-Magic, you gotta play 4 of these in any blue deck. I mean, this negate's just so good. And there's that card coming out that's gonna hit this, but we'll see how playable it really is or who's gonna be playing it. Anyway, yeah, great negate, medium size. He's not really that big a guy, but I like this card a lot. I play 2 of them. I feel like this is a really good turn 2 option. Since I don't play Zeno, you'll have 2 energy open, and then you just like negate with this guy. You can pitch a unison and get it back later with the little guy. But he's got a pretty big attack here, and it's good for just negate some turn 2, something annoying, and you get to draw 2 off it, so it gives you some draw power turn 2. Of course, these are just like the standard. You gotta play 4 beans. You gotta have the beans. Great card. These flying beans shooting into space. Is Goku gonna get the beans? Is the Kit Kat gonna get the bean, or who's gonna get the bean, and who's gonna get the energy back with the beans? And so we do play unisons in this deck, so the God Sealing techniques. Trunks is a pretty big guy kind of in the story. He kind of comes in and he's from the future, is very mysterious, and then he goes back to the future, and then he comes back again, and then he's in the future again. So maybe that's kind of like how this card works. It's like the card comes out and then it disappears, and the other card disappears, or whatever, kind of how it works. Trunks Heroic Prospect, play 2 of these. He's got a pretty powerful fist here, and he looks like he's gonna grab you, or he's gonna grab something here, and he has this kind of looking from the corner of his eye, like he's not gonna let anybody mess with him over here. But this card helps the deck, slows down bigger things. Once you negate with it, people are gonna have to, play around this basically. Great negate. I don't know if this is the best negate for a deck, because you kind of have to get yourself to 4. Sometimes you don't always get to 4 if you awaken with unison. So it's good when it gets in there. If you have unisons in your hand, you don't want to use them, you can slide them under in there, kind of like Vegeta is taking his hand, he's like putting something at the bottom of the deck, and then he's gonna draw 2 with his hand back here. But he's not such a huge guy. This is Baby Parasite. I play 4 of these. This unison is just really good. I think this is the best blue unison. I think it's kind of a rude name. I understand that when you have a Babby, that the Babby is going to be taking your nutrients and a lot of your sleep and stuff, but to call a Babby a parasite is not really that nice. So I think maybe they could have named this car a little bit differently. But I guess that's just Bandai doing their thing. And also, if this is a Babby, this is a really big Babby. I mean, this is like, for a Babby with all this hair and these muscles, if my Babby looked like this, I would be really scared. But this card is scared, I guess. You +2 and draw a card, and then when you -5, he's ridiculous. There's this counter now. You can do this guy, this golden ape Babby. You can play him basically free. You just pitch some cards. So pretty good unison. Lots of access, makes your leader more viable, and when it's swinging also. Of course, look at the size of this guy. Look at this man's hair. I mean, this hair looks expensive, and that's probably why the card is so expensive. The card does a lot of things. You guys know it does. You untap if they show you a battle card with the activate main, and then you get to play the tokens. And if you have good tokens, I mean, he's gonna get in there. And really, the way that your tokens look will make a hugely difference on how well your deck performs, because you can really catch your opponent off guard with some good tokens. So yeah, I like play 4 Obluni. I just play 1 this Ready to Rumble because either I like to put in my energy or I like to play it. And really this card is good. It really can slow things down and be really annoying to deal with. But my favorite part about this card is when you play it, every time you get to say, "Are you ready to Look at the size of this guy. I mean, if you look at his arm and he's a big guy. And I look around for my big guys and I realize that this Ready to Rumble, maybe one of them. I just play one of these cards because I really like the art. I usually try to get this in my energy because I like to look at it for the whole game. But sometimes it can get in there. Like, he'll hurt Cell. Alright, so then I play 3 of these, Path to the Infinite, and Obluni is the target for this. Also the Are You Ready to Rumble, and this is also a target for this. So this is really great because, I play 3 and 3, I play 6 of these guys. You can, play him out, send everything back to their hand, and then the next turn you can just get rid of everything in their hand. And they have to have a negate to deal with this. So if they're at 3 and you get this out and they don't have a negate, they're pretty much toast. I really like the way this card looks. This usually ends up in my energy, but it's fun to play. Like, if you know it's not going to get countered and you play him out, it's pretty fun adding 4 cards to your energy. And the card looks really good, so it'll look really good in your energy. Another cool tech, this guy's really good. Like, turn 5, you play him, and then basically, like, turn 5, you play him -1, you get a bunch of stuff. You get extra cards or whatever, and then you play Baby Hatch, and you stop their turn. And then the next turn you send everything back to your hand, and then when you send everything back to their hand after that, you just play this guy, and you send their hand to their deck, and then they're like, screw. There's like not really much they can do once the tide has been turned. And you might think that this is a little guy, but he's actually kneeling down, so once he stands up, he's a much bigger kind of guy, and you can see that he's very menacing ranger kind of guy. And then I play one more Fuba. I like the way this card looks also. Sometimes it gets in there, but it's also a really pretty card, and I like to have it in my deck. This man is on a mission. If you can't tell, he has a mission that is gonna take double strike and for crit. So you play him, he's basically free. He comes in, he's a pretty big guy. I mean, especially his hair. When you have a hair this size, it really makes your frame look a lot more sturdy. It's one of the reasons why I grow my hair so long, is because I'm actually a really big guy, but the hair makes me look like I'm on some sort of, maybe some kind of good mission or something. This one, my spicy techs, I played Dirty Burst, just one. Like, you can play this against cards with deflect, so even if like Cell comes in and you play Dirty Burst, like, they're not going to be able to attack with it, and you get to draw a card. So it's kind of just like a weird thing to happen to your opponent. I like to play it. I've played it like twice. This I just have one in here. It's also a target for a 5-drop, but if you need to if you're at like 6 from your Unison Awakening and you need to awaken more, you can play this guy and KO something, give something triple strike if you have the energy. He's just a good card. Gets you energy back, draws you cards, gets you cards from your life. Target for a 5-drop. You can just really get in there, and you can see Vegeta is actually pretty short, but in this image he really looks like a pretty big guy. So I feel like if you're gonna get him to look like he's this big guy, then this is the card you might want to take. And his chest is even so big, you can see a Brock. It's his armor from his nipple was so strong that it just kind of pierced right through his armor. But really, I mean, look at the size of this guy. This is a really, really big guy. I mean, you can see the broadness of his chest, and you can see how big his hat is. He has this very, very big hat. It's very pointy, and he has these big lines on his eyes, and these big arms, and this big belly button. He's a really big guy, and this card is just best blue secret rare ever. It's like the biggest, best, most secret of the blue secret rare. So really big guy. Highly recommend to play this in every blue deck. But this is where the really spicy comes in. Is basically this is the biggest guy. This is the biggest guy in the Dragon Ball whole story. I mean, this guy is huge. If you see the size of this thing in his hand. But really the reason why I play this is because if you're using your baby unison skill and you're like pitching 2 cards every time, you're gonna be playing it after turn 4. So like you can like intentionally kind of ditch your whole hand to play all your counters and then start your turn with this really big guy. And when somebody comes out like the size of this guy on their turn, like they're gonna be scared. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. I want to go into my tokens a little bit and talk a little bit about some of my tokens. This Ball Hancock, she's very big, scary. She usually wins me the games, so I'll always kind of set everything up so I can swing with her last, because I really like to win games with her. This year Hoshi, she's really big. Also, she's one of the biggest mermaids ever. So I'll swing in with her probably before Hancock, kind of to bait them, and they're like, oh, he's gonna try and seal the deal with sheer hush, but she usually doesn't get me games. She usually kind of like pushes for game. And then Nezuko, she gets games from time to time. You know, she's pretty dangerous. Nami is really good. She usually is the one that's like, when Nami comes out, you know that you're in danger. So you want to get her off the board. So you know, a lot of people, if you're playing green, you're definitely gonna dormant her off the board. But you know, I'm pretty much going for game. And if the girls don't get it, then some of the boys will come out. So you know, over here we have Luffy and Goku, UI. So some of these boys will sometimes get the games. But that's pretty much the deck. So, and then, you know, I have some more tokens, but I can go into them maybe in another video. If you guys, you know, leave something in the comments about if you want me to make another video, I can show you some more of these big guys. I have this one deck with these really big guys, so maybe I'll do a video on that deck sometime. But I hope you like this show. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget subscription and, you know, smoosh the like button. And if you have any questions or want to see any other decks with some big guys, there's lots of really big guys in this game. So I'm happy to do some videos, and I'll see you next time.